Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Tony Onying Show, proudly brought to you by Glonton Foundation, your partner in responsible well-being. So, in this episode, we are building up from episode 4, which was rebuilding oneself in the face of narcissistic characters. These are the egocentrics, the individuals that lack empathy, the bosses that are non-appreciative, the husbands, the wives that don't appreciate each other. They only see the wrong side of the coin. So in looking at rebuilding oneself, our counselor here shared with us a couple of ideas and practices that we could adopt. And now in this case, we continue to receive phone calls. We continue to receive messages. So it pushed us to the wall and said, how about forgiveness?
Yeah.
How about the doctrine of forgiveness, of which I believe Mrs. Okello, forgiveness is not something that everybody would understand or appreciate the same way.
Sure.
So as we welcome you to the show, do introduce yourself to the new viewers and also explain to us how best does forgiveness set in where I am tired. I want to move on.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you so much, dear moderator. Hi, dear viewers. I trust you're doing well and you've been following our episodes from the first episode of narcissistic character and then the one for today. You talked of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongdoing, but it is about freeing yourself from the grudges, from the resentment. So it is about you rebuilding yourself. It's about you getting along or getting away from that burden that you had and have the self-resentment. Yeah.
So it is something that has to come from yourself as an individual.
It has to come from you as an
You take on the
individual.
responsibility.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the truth is, living with a narcissist is okay. It is about learning how to live with them because they cannot change. Narcissists do not change. So it is about you to learn how to live with them. So meaning you have to, first forgive. You have to first free that burden from you and then you carry on.
So does this forgiveness incorporate accepting that Mr. T is actually a narcissist and he will not appreciate no matter what? I accept him
Yes.
the way he is,
Yes.
and I continue doing things to just, relieve myself from trying to please him.
You see, like in relationships, when you're going to marry this woman or you're going to marry this man, there are some things, of course, that you see that are good on them, about them, and there are some things that you see that are not good, but you can actually live with them because no one is perfect on this world. But when it comes to a narcissistic person, it's totally different. So, like we talked about it in our last season or the episodes that we had, it is about you learning, knowing that I can actually live with this person.
Yeah.
And then living with that person, you have to free that burden. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive that person and do not let that person that you have forgiven him or her. Because letting them know that you have forgiven them, it will raise another character in them or another thing that will, try to put you down.
There's a line that talks about reclamation or reclaiming of personal power. That forgiveness is more about taking back your power and not giving it to the narcissist. That it is that act of deciding that their actions do not affect your internal peace anymore.
Yes.
You get it? So I think in that case, we are more of choosing to treat them the way they are, that however much they push, you are humbly accepting to do it. But while deep inside your mind,
Their
I have forgiven it.
You have forgiven it, and that's who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also a she is.
Yeah, it's vice versa actually.
Okay.
That's who he is. That's who she is.
All right. Now, let me ask you something else. On that, was we talk about forgiveness. Do they need to know that they have been forgiven? Do I need to tell Mr. T that, hey, boss, forgiven you already, man? So it's okay. I'll do it. Is that what?
Your baby, and now showing that person that you've forgiven him or her.
Activate their character
Oh yes,
more.
yeah. Because you don't need to tell me that you've forgiven me. That the once I tell you that actually I've forgiven you, I moved on. That's not what it means that about forgiveness.
Okay.
It is all about freeing yourself, freeing your heart. Because if you keep saying it, that means you didn't forgive actually.
Yeah.
People who forgive, they let go.
So speaking it
Yes.
is triggering another side.
Yes, because you can say, I actually forgave you. I'm not about, to accept that
Yeah.
nonsense of yours. And then he or she will be like, okay, that's it. Then the following day you find another trouble
You remind
that you
me,
need to deal with.
I know of a colleague who went through a very tough relationship at with the boss for years. Sometimes we watch those movies back then, 12 years in slavery and the likes. She went through a lot, completed whatever task she was asked to do, and then one day a new door opens. You know the way she ran without looking behind.
I know.
She felt like, yeah, I think I finally got. And as we speak, she now has her peace of mind. She now has her own business. She is running her business and she's also running the other side. But one key thing that turned out very well is that she treats her teams better because she knew or she knows how it felt like being hard on your reportees, being hard on your partner. She also got married. Get it? So, and actually living good life on both sides of the coin. So I think as we say this, that at times, let's accept reality. Let's face it, but let's not stop for searching for opportunities. But as we search for opportunities, it's also good that, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's what I would believe. Maybe, I don't know what other side of the coin you would push us to.
Okay, forgiveness, it is going to help you decrease that stress and anxiety. And like you said, at workplaces, at some point when you hold that grudge, you've not forgiven, it's going to affect you. It is going to affect your work. You're not going to coordinate with your fellow workers very well because you feel what the other people did to you, what the other person did to you. It can be done to you at the workplace by those fellow workmates that you're with. Yeah, at the moment. So it needs just need to free yourself. For forgiveness, you need to free yourself, and you do not need to show everyone that I forgive you, I forgive him, I forgive her. Okay. It is you, because forgiveness is a heart. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Okello, for that.
Yeah.
And maybe as we come to the end of the show, what would be your parting shots for our viewers on forgiveness?
For me, I would request you, our dear viewers, to forgive, to let go. To let go. If you have decided to stay with that partner, if you have decided to stay at that workplace, if those are your parents, actually, there is nothing you can do about them because they paid your tuition, they maybe even got for you that job. So you don't need to, to abandon them just because one of them or both of them are narcissists and you don't want to look back. If you think of moving on, think of what they did, what good thing they did.
The good things they did.
Yeah. And it's still the same applies at workplaces. If you think of not forgiving that boss, think of the time you start your own organization. Think of the time you start your own business, and maybe you want to come on board and work for that company and be the service provider for that company. How are you going to deal with them?
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Okello, for that. I think for me, what I would encourage us to do is let's think also about grace and mercy as a key pillar in religion. Let's be forgiving. Let's know that whatsoever we are going through, it's sometimes a way for us to be better and offer better services to the people of tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us on the show today, ladies and gentlemen. And as we always say, do not forget to subscribe. But otherwise, Mrs. Okello, thank you so much for always giving us the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you so much. All right. God bless you.